What is up, ladies and gents? We are back. I'm the Guitarist562 and I do video game guides and walkthroughs. And in today's video, I'm going to be showcasing the 4-piece set for the Wraith and showcase why it's a really good endgame build for melee users and anybody that wants to use the 4-piece set. As you guys know, the 4-piece set gives you 2,000 extra health. To show you what that looks like, my HP right now is 17,190 right now. Sorry, let me remove that. 15,005. So I'm going to take everything off and show you now. I'm going to put the gloves back on and that will put me at 17,190 as well. Now the 4-piece set, what it does, it gives you a heavy attack chance. So as you can see, my melee heavy attack chance is only 140, so it gives me up to an additional 240. So let me write that down. Melee heavy attack chance is 40, 140. Now I'm going to go ahead and put on armor pieces that don't give me heavy attack, but instead they are going to give me HP and they are also going to give me a bit more oomph. So let's go ahead and put on the legs. So now I'm at 60 and that gave me the breakpoint of 61. So now I'm at 19,215. My melee heavy attack chance hasn't changed yet because my HP hasn't changed at all. And I don't have the 4-piece. I mean, my HP changed, but I don't have the 4-piece set yet. But let's go ahead and put on the 4th and final piece, which is gonna be my boots. And when just like that, my melee heavy attack chance went up to 370. So let's do the math. Let's drop the calculator. 370 minus 140 equals 230. Now the reason why it's around 230 is because, let me read it to you specifically. It says you can get up to 240 melee heavy attack chance. You get melee heavy attack chance 12 up per 1,000 of max health, up to an additional 240. So that means if I get a little bit more HP, maybe like another 1,000 or so, it could probably increase a little bit more. So let's go ahead and put on the chest piece. I'm at 19,215 and let's see if you can break past that 20,000 mark. So putting that chest piece on, where is it? Right here. Let's go ahead and see if it reflects my heavy attack chance. Look at that, see? It did go up to 466, but that has nothing to do with the build yet. It has partial to do with the fact that the chest piece has 86 heavy attack checks, 86 built into it already. So let's remove 86 from it and see what my actual heavy attack chance is. So my melee says 466. So 466 minus 86 puts me at 380. And as you saw before, I was at 370. So by getting up to 20,000 HP, I reached the threshold of the 240 max, where it says right there of 240. So keep that in mind when you're doing this. You need to make sure the way it's written and the way it actually works, because otherwise you're going to confuse yourself. I confuse myself all the time. So that's why I always look forward to the community to correct me if I'm wrong. So back to where I'm at. Now I have the full set. You don't have to run the full Wraith set. I like to because of the extra hit that this comes with. Generally I do see people run this, or they run 1, 2, 3, 4 and run bonus damage on, you know, like I think the Dawn Mist has like bonus damage, but like look, this one has hit on it. I don't know if you see the boots. Let's slow down. I'm starting to go off on a tangent. Let's stay focused. Let's go piece by piece. Here's the sword, Penance Knight's Annihilator, which is a tier 2 weapon. It comes with 12 perception at +9. And then we also have the Chief Executor's Earthquake Blade. So let's see if I can do a gear transfer. If not, then I'll have to fix that. So it gives me 8 points. Let me go ahead and remove some of the weapons here. I think, let's see. No, that's it. That's it for this. Well, as much as I would like, let's see if I can unlock my wand to make sure that I can maybe potentially. No, it's not locked, but it's just not letting me. Anyway, the point is each weapon has its own stat points. So I don't know what it caps out at the Chief Executor's Blade. Let's go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and check on the build calculator. Let's see, Chief Executor, and it'll come up Earthquake Blade at +9. It says the strength caps out at 11. So it goes from 7 to 11. So you get 11 points of strength from that actual weapon itself. So you get 12 points of perception and 11 points of this. But it doesn't really matter because, as you can see, even with this build alone, I get 60 and 60, which is kind of one of the most important key aspects of the PvP and or PvE. Now, let's talk about traits. Let's see. For the sword, you can run hit, heavy attack for sure, and then your choice. Some people run attack speed, some people prefer HP, some people like crit. Crit's not that hard to get with this build, so that's entirely subjective, up to you. You have hit, max HP, and then stun chance. Mix max HP, crit, or heavy attack chance. You're going to need a lot of crit for a lot of your builds, so I usually see these three run commonly. And then obviously you have your resonance. Let's not forget that, but most people are going to opt in for more heavy attack chance. Then you have your helmet. As you can see here, there's melee evasion, range, and max HP. So I would run probably cooldown, melee, and ranged. Your choice, because 20,000, like I already have 20,000 HP already. Why do I need any more? Some people would want more, but I feel like if you're running with the healer, you should be fine. A lot of your passives help you as well, because I have 20,000 HP right now, 20,685. But you got to remember, this isn't even fully traded, and even my passives right now are not fully traded. This one, I'm missing about an extra 400 or 500 HP right here. And there's just more things that can go on, because like even with, let's see, I think is it Blood Devotion? Nope, it's right here, Immortal Pride. Let's go ahead and throw that on there. And with this, my health jumped up to 24,000. When I was running an HP build, I actually had like 30,000 HP. And then you got to remember, you also have DR, and then you got to also go into your skill spec. But that's just, I don't want to go into that because this video would be like an episode of the Lord of the Rings, too long. So we saw the helmet. Let's look at the chest piece. The traits for the chest piece: melee, max HP, debuff duration. I used to think it was extremely important. It still kind of is, but as a tank, I don't think it's as bad, mainly because you have Drad's Patience, which helps you from CC immunity. So opted for these two, and then maybe more max HP. Or, you know, if you want to go for the debuff duration route, you can. Here goes hit. So I would go for this route because this is really nice. Some people like to run the 4-piece, and then, you know, maybe they'll swap out the Wraith Knight's gloves, because this one has attack speed, this one has attack speed as well, and this one has range, and some people might run that. You know, who knows? Everyone has their own preference. And Holy Ghost Fighter's Mortal Hands, and here's attack speed. These are the only ones that run attack speed. You got to be mindful of what armor pieces run the specific trait that you have, because if you don't, then there's nothing that you can do. All right, now here goes the pants. Melee evasion, max HP, and debuff duration if you want to get unstunned or have debuffs off of you faster. Usually people have like 30-40% debuff duration, but it depends on like your overall build. You know, Greatsword Dagger, SNS Wand, SNS Greatsword, etc., etc. Now, did I do the pants already? Yeah, I did. And now let's go for the boots. We have melee evasion and ranged. Again, now if you want max stamina, movement speed, you have to choose, or you could be just all melee evasion and just run max and movement speed. Stamina is good, but honestly, most people will just walk around everywhere, and your stamina is going to come back eventually. So, I mean, it does help, but in a large scale war and you're blocking, it's gonna eat up unless like you're fully building up for more stamina. That's just my opinion. Again, it doesn't have to be right. You can disagree with it, that's fine. But movement speed is definitely very useful, because as a melee player, you're going to be chasing people down. You have 15 meters with your precision dash, maybe more. But this will help you keep up with all the people that are just kind of like weaseling away from your fights. Not as important in PvE, but for PvP is definitely important. Now for the Hermit Shroud, these are some of the traits that you can run on it if you want to see. Weaken resistance is really good if you want to avoid sleeps. Skill damage resistance is really good, mass HP, and honestly I see a lot of these are very popular. Not so much this as much, because you won't really need debuff duration if you just have the one that you're trying to avoid, which is silence resistance, which is kind of important from as a great sword SNS user, because like I said, you don't have the dagger passive of being unsilenced, because dagger skills can't be silenced. So like for example, let's say you're a great sword dagger, it's not going to affect you because you can always invis or get out of there. I'm sorry if I'm talking really fast. Again, there's just so much information to digest. So I'm just trying to make it, I'm trying to explain it as much as possible. Now for the accessories, these are the ones that I'm running: Slaughter's Collar, Beast King's Gilded Bracers, or is it Glided? Gilded Bracers, the Insightful Ring of Dimension, Transcendent Magic Ring, and Tychon's Bloodlust Belt, which is really good. But the problem with it now is with the new updates is some of these pieces are harder to acquire. So I need to give you some alternatives. So this Transcendent Magic Ring, you can probably roll for it in the, Queen Bellendir is going to be very unlikely. So you're going to have to probably do Substance Transformation and then just pray for RNG and go here. Or you can just run another ring, which I have written down, which is the Barbarian Stone Ring. Is it the Barbarians? I think, no, I'm sorry. The Unshakable Gold Ring. I'm going to go ahead and show you what it looks like in the market. Let's see. It's a ring. Come on. And here it goes, Unshakable Gold Ring, and it shows how to acquire. Strength 2, but it caps out at 4. Stun chance goes up to 93, and attack speed I think caps out at like 4%-ish. So you can get it from the Demon Hoof Shaman, Demon Hoof Trackers. So that means open world farming. It'll be easier for you to basically feed. Let me pull up my Excel sheet because I do have it right next to me to see how much it actually does. It gives you 4 points of strength, 4.7% of attack speed, and 93 stun chance. Yeah, so I was right. Now, the other belt that you can run, because this Tychon's Bloodlust belt is going to be a lot harder to get, because in Amazon, you can, it says, can you hunt for it? Yes, you can, but it's a boss. It's Eridus open world boss, which can be very hard to get, or a guild raid. So this is going to be a harder drop. It's not like before where you can get it in Sarudama. So unfortunately, this juicy belt's a thing of the past for Amazon. You're probably gonna have to run for something without stat points, and currently one of the good belts to run without stat points is the Forbidden Liberation Chain. So to show you what that looks like, let me go ahead and put that on. So try here, melee evasion 100, and let me go ahead and remove the Transcendent Magic Ring, because unfortunately this is what my stat distribution is actually going to look like now that it's all gone. So let's reset that, and let's see if we can get up to the breakpoint of 60 again. See, and this is the realistic expectations that's going to happen for some people, because these two items are not going to be in the game. As you can see, I just lost 12 points because of the Transcendent Ring. So I'm trying to be reasonable for players that may or may not have that. But as you can see, I could get 4 points of strength right here because of the Unshakable Gold Ring. This ring's really good because of the Insightful. It has 8 stats. So you can get your breakpoints much easier that way as well. Now, the Unshakables right here, this belt, there's a couple belt alternatives, but again, this is the only recommendation I have if you want to go for melee evasion. Now, this is another tricky part too, because like I said, you can run this setup, or you can remove this chest piece, which I've seen some players do. But when you remove that chest piece, like, I lost 3 points right there. So that means I lost not only those 3 points and heavy attack chance, but I also lost the HP that came with it. So that's why it's very important that you properly build your character and know where you're getting your stats from, because look, now I won't be able to reach this breakpoint anymore. I could probably get it now if I get the 4 points of strength here, and then it makes up for the perception that's lost here. As you can see, my hit took a pun intended, it took a hit. Now, if I want to go all melee evasion, I'd run this. So this is the Special Resistance Tactical Armor. It's a tier 1 armor. It's really good because it caps out at 150 melee evasion and gives you 900 HP. This is a build I've seen people run. And it's one of the best builds, I would say, because even though it may not have stat points, it increases your melee evasion by a lot. You can get up to like 1500 melee evasion if you do it the proper way. I've seen people with 1500 to 1700 melee evasion. This belt goes up to 150, and not to stop there, let's go ahead and look at the Slaughter's cover, which is in the Torture Chamber of Screams, which gives you 100. Here, I have it written down. Let me go ahead and take a look. The Slaughter's cover gives you 150 melee evasion. The belt gives you 190, so I apologize. So from Carmine, this belt right here gives you 190 melee evasion. And also the bracers here are really nice if you don't want to use the Beast King's Gilded Bracers. It gives you 67 hit and 705 HP. But I feel like for that amount of hit, it's low-key not even worth it. I would rather just keep the Beast King's Gilded Bracers. Anyway, that's just the potential that you can have. You can have the Slaughter's Cover here, the Barbarians, the Unshakable Gold Ring here, and this. So all of that paired up with, you know, 80 times 5, which is about 300, I believe. Let me double check. Let me have the calculator. 80 times 5 equals 400. So 400 melee evasion just off of these pieces. And then also there's substats here plus resonance, and then the Slaughter's Cover here, and then also 184 melee evasion on the Slaughter's Collar as well. So it's a really good build. I highly recommend it. The one thing I forgot to mention is if you don't want to run the special resistance tactical armor, you can still keep the 4-piece Wraith set. You can actually run the Holy Ghost Fighter's Devotion armor. I've seen people run this as SNS wand because of the fact that it gives you max HP. I wrote it down. Let's see. What did I have down? Looking for it right now. I apologize, guys, because I don't want to give misinformation. No, I don't have it written down, but I can look it up. Let's see. Holy Ghost. I think it gives you 10. Holy Ghost Fighter's Devotion armor. Okay, so at level 9, the Holy Ghost gives you a DR of 11, and it stops at where was it? DR of 11 and max HP 555. So there you go. This is a build that you can go for as melee, as SNS wand. You can go as great sword SNS, or you can go great sword dagger. This is just a really juicy build if you just want to be extra tanky, but entirely up to you what you want to do for PVE. Again, if you can, let's try to get the Transcendent Magic Ring back in there. If you can, go for this belt that I showed you, the Tychon's Bloodlust belt. But again, I'm trying to be realistic for you guys because not everyone's going to have a chance to get that belt, because that's going to really suck that I'm trying to tell you to get this build, but the reality is you're not going to be able to touch that build because of the fact that it is an ARC boss drop now, which in the future for Amazon games, it's not that easy to get. ARC boss drops just have never been easy to get. Hold on, let me remove this. So there you go, 15, and there you go. If you want to get a little crazy with it, you can keep this 4-piece, and if you really want to go for stat points, this only gives you 3. I mean, you can really just toy with a lot of different things in the game and see what you can do. Like, look at this. This one gives you crit, dex 4, and 4 wisdom. But again, does that help your overall build, or would you rather have the Wraith gloves that give you hit and attack speed? And as someone that is attacking multiple players as a melee player, I feel like the hit and attack speed of the Wraith Knight gloves kind of supersedes that. So as you can see here, 4%, 5 perception, and I forget the amount of HP. But yeah, let me know if you like this build. Remember, this is the interchangeable piece right here. If other people don't use a chest piece and they have a bizarre setup and don't run the chest piece and have, let's say they keep this with a different chest piece and run, or they keep the chest piece, or they just swap out a different piece, feel free to share, because most often this is the piece that most people change up. I never, because like no one's going to really swap out this one because of the hit right here. No one's going to swap this piece out because of the hit. No one's going to swap out this piece because of the fact that it comes with melee evasion 150 built in, and it comes with ranged evasion 140, and it comes with 5 points of strength. Like, it's almost impossible to want to like swap out any of these other items versus this one. This one has 8 points of strength, 4 points of dex, and it has cooldown speed. So yeah, I would say this is definitely a viable build for endgame for the melee class. My only grievance about this is these 2 pieces right here, because they're much harder to get, and they will be much harder to get, and I'm trying to future-proof it for Amazon players that come out in September 17th. But if you do what I said and run the Unshakable, I would definitely keep this one because of the fact of the stat points right here and the range. It's really nice to have. Let's do some other stuff. Like, I mean, mana is going to kind of be an issue, but not necessarily, because of the SNS passives. If you don't believe me, I'll read it to you right here. Evading an attack restores mana by 38, and each successful shield block or defensive skill block restores mana by 28% of the damage blocked. And imagine getting hit by 12 people, or 13 people, and it says right here, there are 3 to 6 targets and 700 defense if there are 7 or more targets, blah blah blah, along with all these other passives like counter barrier. But yeah, unfortunately, I can't get too in depth. I just wanted to show you guys the armor pieces to go for. This is the bulk of the meat. This is subjective, but this, you need to understand what's going on. I don't know if I actually went over it, but hopefully I did. But to explain the melee heavy attack chance, because I had to re-record this twice because it crashed. So I'm sorry if it didn't. But now I'm rambling. I apologize. Tomorrow I'm going to show you guys probably the crossbow dagger build. But so far the previous build that I had was for longbow, staff, etc. All those range builds, the wing set. Now this is the wraith set. And then after I finish the crossbow build, which is going to be tomorrow, I might just do the wand build mostly, and then afterwards go into tier 1 sets. And then after that, the following week is going to be the rare sets, because it's going to take you a while to get there. So if you haven't already, please follow the YouTube channel by subscribing and join the Discord. We're almost at 800 people in the community, and I will be playing on early access, but the majority of my focus will be on East Coast on the 17th. So thank you guys for watching, and as always, stay blessed.